Hi, Easy Properties investors. I am here today with our CEO, Rupert Finnemore. And we've got Tyron Baird here from HB Realty to chat to us about our latest property, the Tungsten. Now, I'm really excited about this property because of its location. It's situated in Athol, Johannesburg, and is really close to all the swanky businesses that you see in Sandton, like Discovery and Bidvest and all those kind of places. So I think there's so much potential here. And this property is open until the 25th of October, 2024. It's got an internal rate of return of 9% and an estimated net rental yield of 6.92%. So I'm going to start off with you, Rupert. Why did we choose this property? What makes it special?
Hi, Carly. How's it, Tyron? Quite a few reasons. I think predominantly part of our due diligence that we do at the start is to make sure we are doing property deals with experienced, good quality developers. A lot of people who've been around the EasyProperties platform for a while will know HB Realty. We've done things with them at the Monroe, the Bailey, Akaru. And so just there's a great sense of comfort knowing that there's a quality product that's going to be produced. Any brochure can look amazing and the reality can sometimes be very different. So that's one, is just a good DD on the developers themselves. And then obviously looking at the property itself, I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful development. It's in Athol, as you said, which is in the heart of Sandton. It's a very, very affluent area. There's very few, I would say actually none of these kind of property types in that broader Athol area. Largely these are properties with, half an acre's ground, big sprawling home, really expensive properties. And I guess, one of those old property adages is location, location, location. You always want the cheapest property you can get in the very best area. And I think this is a very good example of that. We've got good entry level prices into a product that doesn't exist in a very, very affluent area. And then obviously the return metrics as well are enticing. So for all of those reasons.
Great. Tyron, do you have anything to add about the area specifically and why, it's a good opportunity for investors?
Thanks, Carly. Rupert Hazelman, firstly, making me blush when he talks about HB Realty like that. But look, I think exactly what Rupert said. I mean, traditionally, I actually did a bit of research on the area, and I mean, it has been the most, or ranked second for the last few years in terms of by buying into the area. The expensive houses, the average house price has been anywhere between 7 and 9 million rand. So gives you an indication of the kind of area it is. And I think the product that we're able to bring into that area is exactly that. From an investment point of view, it's a great price point for a neighborhood like that.
Yeah, I see that you have got 2-bedroom units available for less than 1.8 million. And obviously, if you're investing in this property using EasyProperties, you can invest with absolutely any amount you've got. So that's a really cheap entry point for people based on the overall values of houses in the area. So it's, that's quite a good deal.
Correct.
Talk to me a bit about where the Tungsten is now, Tyron, in terms of its development. When is it due to be completed? And maybe if you could talk a bit around the sustainable living features of this property.
Yeah, sure. So look, I mean, it's very new to the market. We're not even 2 months, from when we launched it. But everything is going very well. Sales have gone extremely well. In less than 2 months, we've managed to sell more than 70% of the development. So we are busy with our planning. There are a few hoops that we need to jump through and a few approvals and everything we need to get in place, which we are doing. We're all on top of that. And we anticipate to start with the development in early 2025. And our goal is to hand over in early 2026 to make sure everybody gets their places by then. In terms of the sustainable features, we've got full backup power on the development. So there is a single inverter and battery system that plugs into the main. So if power in that goes down, no one in the development would even know. Regardless of load shedding, if there's a power failure, it doesn't matter. The system kicks into the main feed so that the entire development stays on. We do have water backup as well. We've got a full 48-hour water backup system that runs through the mains as well. So there's fresh water if the water does go down, which has been a problem recently, in the Joburg area. And then something that we have recently started doing and we are implementing into the Tungsten is we're building with a cavity wall system. So it's not just your double brick system together. We actually create a cavity, and this allows it increases the thermal insulation of the homes as well. So the keeping the heat in and not allowing too much light and heat to escape from each home. Right?
That sounds like a dream, especially if you are a remote worker like me and you really depend on your home having power all the time. So that's pretty crucial. It sounds like young professionals are going to be quite a good audience for this. Hey, Roop, what sort of tenants do you think this is going to attract?
Well, I think to go one step back as well, and just to pick up what Tyron was saying, with all of these insulation things and the solar and all of that, I mean, I know that they are anticipating your usage kind of bills being reduced by 10%, which obviously is a tenant cost. Well, in our case, it's a tenant cost that comes down, which also kind of increases the rentability of these things. Knowing that you've got all these systems in place, I'm getting my electricity and everything at a much cheaper rate. So it definitely increases the desirability of this area for tenants.
Yeah. So how we able? Sorry, Rupert. How we're able to do that is, we put a full solar system into the development up front, and we connect those to the geysers. So our, I should admit, but it's a massive feature in terms of we're able to turn the geysers off remotely when there is sufficient power supply from the solar. So I mean, Joburg, being South Africa, there's not nearly every day there is that there is that ability, and we're able to turn the geysers off. They run off the solar power, and that in turn translates into anywhere between an 8 and a 10% saving on the overall electricity bill.
Yeah.
And to add to that as well, the Wi-Fi every home is equipped with Wi-Fi, which the tenant doesn't have to pay for. It comes, it's all built into the upfront cost. And when you move in, you literally put in your password. It's plug and play. The entire development is on Wi-Fi and their own dedicated fiber line.
And I think, Carly, the anticipated rentals that we're looking at on these units are 15,000 Rand per month per unit. Obviously, 2-bed units. So the potential tenants that we'd be looking for is either young professionals, staying with a friend or another young professional. Are paying those kind of rentals, or you've also got like young families, people starting out, one kid, single professionals, all of that kind of stuff. I think the fact that it's in Athol and, as you mentioned, right in the heart of Sandton, next to the business district, I'm convinced that the tenants that we're going to be looking for are guys that live and work in that kind of Sandton area.
And of course, the sourcing of those tenants and the admin is all taken care of by EasyProperties, and the investors get to reap the benefits of that rental income in the form of regular dividends, which is nice.
Yes.
Can use that to invest in even more property or take it as a little passive income flow, whatever you decide. So we are getting this property at a 6.5 discount compared to market prices. I want to hear from you guys on what kind of advantage that gives investors who are interested in this property.
Well, I think first of all, we've got to thank Tyron for the discount. That's part of the negotiation that EasyProperties makes. It's the benefit that we have being a collective buyer. Doing this kind of collaborative buying and all of that gives us a bit of bargaining power. So we're able to negotiate good deals, which is good. So that the discount obviously just gives us a running start at capital growth. And maybe Tyron can talk about the kind of pricing on these units and the area.
Yeah, I mean, I think the big thing is obviously the capital appreciation that your investors are going to, that they're going to get the benefit of, So, I mean, the area itself has got, we've spoken about it at length, but I mean, the area in terms of capital appreciation is unreal, from a percentage point of view and just from an actual real capital perspective. So, and I think having that 6.5% advantage on that as well is a double benefit to your investors. And I think, from just a gearing cost perspective as well, it obviously reduces your gearing costs and they're lower and your investors benefit from that. So yeah, it really is just a plus for anyone investing in you.
Yeah, we were saying it's like getting in at the ground floor, except it's more like getting in the basement. You're even lower than the ground floor, which is really
that's
cool.
It. The budgets that we put together in the forecast for EasyProperties, generally we use a 5% capital growth per year. So here, essentially, you're getting your more than a first year's capital growth for free, and that you're buying it at that kind of discounted rate.
Nice. Okay, guys, what's one takeout that you would want people to get about this property and this webinar today? What's a really good take-home message for people as we prepare to round off and say goodbye?
I think from my side, this type of offering in this type of area is very rare. There hasn't been this type of development in Athol in that node in a long time, and I can't see it happening in a long time. We spent a lot of time. I won't go into boring details of it, but trying to get this right and perfecting it and bringing to the market what we have. And I think I really do think people don't want to miss out on it. I know that's a cliche, but I really, really think this opportunity is not something you want to miss because it's really not easy to repeat this, especially given the area.
And I think, another thing to consider is sometimes Joburg still has this perception about it as being a negative place to invest for property. Obviously, we know that Cape Town's getting all the spotlight at the moment and the prices are going through the roof there. In some instances,
tell me about
maybe.
It.
You live down there. Outpricing themselves from the local market quite a lot. But not all Joburg suburbs and properties are created equally. There are always areas that perform better than others. And to kind of blanket the whole of Joburg under one kind of property brush is not the correct way of looking at things. And I think to follow on from what Tyron said, you've got to look at this opportunity as being in one of the top areas in Johannesburg. There's no other development like it, so there's that exclusivity. It's the first to market. Having also done a little bit of research before we bought this property onto the platform, there are only 65 sectional title units in the whole of Athol, apartments. There are generally only one or two that sell every single year. The average price of those couples is in the north of the 2 million rand mark. So we're getting into a good area. There's no competition at a very, very good price point. So yeah, that would probably be my take home.
So a unique opportunity for our investors. You heard it, guys. This is all you need to know about the Tungsten. Go and check it out. The IPO ends on the 25th of October. So get in there. Thank you. Thanks, guys, for joining.
Thank you very much. Cheers.